Hi YouTube, welcome to my channel. Today I have a story time for you. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, or you could just listen if you're passing through. So yeah, I'll just start the story and let's just jump right into it. So yeah, I'll say the last month or so for me has been a high of its kind. Like, I don't think I've ever been just as, like literally floating on clouds, so to speak, because it's been literally a culmination of the last 2 to 3 years. So I've been on the YouTube streets as a, watcher, subscribe to things I like here and there. Don't really have any other social media, so I really have a soft spot for YouTube. I guess the millennial in me is showing. Yeah. I enjoy, long form content and just all the things you can learn and enjoy on YouTube. Each voice and story is unique and has something to offer depending on what you're looking for. I have known for some time that I also have a voice and experiences to share that can help someone, but it was not too clear to me what purpose I could attach this voice to, So I've just basically been cheering for people. Yeah, it could have been easy, to just come on here for the sake of it, start making any type of content, even if I didn't have the full conviction. Try just to make something that, can get views or something, but I just knew that things that are done that way out of just, fear of missing out, haste, or just looking to make a cheap win are not really things that last or have lasting impact. So I've been patiently just, enjoying my watching days, just watching people. And then, yeah, as I've said, the last month or so, I finally got to a place where that there was a possibility for me to switch and become both a creator and just also a consumer on YouTube. So that was it's been an exciting time for me. It still is. Yeah. So this story will just tie in with the fact that one of the things that I've been doing for the last it's actually 5 years, but let me just say 3 to 4. I was finishing up a master's program, I've been enrolled in, had its own challenges and whatnot, but that's not the story for today. So I'm just due to graduate in a few weeks. So of late, I have been reflecting on my life as I come to the end of this stage. If you're a lifelong learner, how it goes, you're familiar with just, the routine life audits and how it just goes. You want to examine yourself like, okay, now where I'm headed, what have I done? What do I see myself doing? Things like that. So just been silently asking myself really at the beginning of the master's and more so now towards the end. The question just kind of glares at you a bit much. So anyway, one day in early August, I decided, okay, enough of asking myself this question. People are raving about ChatGPT, so I'm like, okay, let me go have a chat with ChatGPT. We don't always have to fear these things that we're saying, oh, they're replacing humans and all that. So I'm like, okay, let's see what the tool is used for. So I open it and I type in, all my qualifications and ask it to suggest some things I could do online just to see, because I know I want to pivot into something online based, but I wasn't yet honed in on what that could be. So surprisingly, ChatGPT gives me some, I'll say thought-provoking answers or options of things to do online. And I'm actually taken aback because there's actually one or two things on that list that are remotely interesting. So I decide, oh my God, I close the laptop and I tell myself, it sounds promising to consider these ideas, but I need to just exercise some caution that I'm not taking on things that I'm not equipped for, just am I equipped for this? So I promised myself that, after that, I'll close my laptop. I'm like, let me just think over this for the next 24 hours. Let me see, let me toy with this idea and just see if it sparks real interest. I go to bed thinking about this product that ChatGPT has suggested I could create. Well, it's viable, but something doesn't feel okay with that. It just seems to me like attempting to make a quick buck. So I start to think, instead of that idea, since it just brings to fore the fact that I actually have knowledge in that area. So what could I use my knowledge in this area for, instead of just trying to make something quick to sell? So that's the question that's on my mind as I go to sleep this night that I've chatted with ChatGPT. So I sleep, wake up, go about my day with this thought at the back of my mind. Then sometime in the afternoon, I would say like 4 o'clock or something, I get a funny idea. And I'm like, wait, what if I did this instead? It's an idea for a channel, fun and exciting, not too serious. So I say, well, if this could be an idea, let me just write down, what would be your first 2 videos, something like that. What are the first few possible video ideas you have? And lo and behold, I'm glued on my notes app for like 20 minutes straight. I have like 7 to 10 video ideas already. At this point, I'm not believing it. I'm like, wait, this actually seems legit. So I continue going through my day. I go through my daughter's bedtime routine, and after that she falls asleep. I open the app, and I keep getting idea after idea, and I'm just jotting them down. Actually not jotting, I'm typing them out on my notes app. So by this time, it's now coming up to the 24 hours that I said I wanted to mull over the idea. So I go back and I ask ChatGPT, is this new idea I have viable actually? Let's pause what you are saying. Is this idea that I have viable? And it turns out, it looks like, yeah, it is actually something has great potential for execution. Even some of the episodes I'm mentioning is like, yeah, those are like really good episode ideas. So I'm like, cool. I leave it there. So the next day, the ideas are still flowing. I'm just going about my day as I'm doing dishes. I have to even stop, wipe my hands, and like type out some idea. As I'm just randomly doing random things during the day, I just have to stop and type out the ideas. So by evening, I have filled up one notes app, like the character limit that is provided. That's about like 30 ideas or something I have to start afresh on. So yeah, by next morning, I wake up and I'm like, yeah, there's no way. Like, this is a legit idea. So I even I tell him, like, I tell my husband, you know what, I've just had this idea for a YouTube channel and I think I want to do it. And he's kind of taken aback because I don't think doing YouTube was one of the things we've ever considered for me especially. So yeah, it is just takes him aback, but he's like, oh, okay, so let's go for it. Let's test it out, try out the idea. So I immediately start scripting the first video in detail. Yeah, that's how I'm progressing. And during this time, I should just mention that my undertaking, you get a lot of resistance when you have ideas like this. Is like, but am I good enough? Like, you're just asking yourself things, and just going through leaps and bounds of shifts in mindset shift, because it's like, yeah, it seems like this needs to happen, and these are the kind of ways you need to stop thinking and kind of think this way, just going through a lot of like limiting beliefs you have around yourself and all these things. So yeah, we are at this point where I'm scripting out a new video, the first episode. So let's say now we are on last Friday. I have a few note apps that are full, about 3. So that's about like 90 to 120 ideas. And I say, at this point, I'm like fully locked in. I'm like, yeah, this is happening. I start to think, since they are full, what do I want to do with them? And I think maybe I should back them up. So I start tinkering with the cloud storage on my phone. I have a phone It's called Infinix. Some of you probably have never heard of it. Yeah, it's an Android phone. So I'm trying to figure out the cloud storage so that I can back up my Notes app, because it comes pre-installed on the phone. So I kind of try to figure it out, and I can't even figure it out. Like, it's, I'm just logging in and out of accounts. I don't even know what accounts these are. They have like weird characters, just a whole thing. I'm like, I can't even figure this out. So I say, I might as well, I'll send those notes to myself on email, because there's that option. So I say, let's just leave that. I'll send that to myself later. So that night, my daughter I take her through her bedtime routine. She falls asleep, and then I take out my phone. I'm like, okay, now it's time to just check out where my idea is at, the full scripting of the idea and all that. And I open the Notes app, and lo and behold, there is literally nothing that I've been working on for the last. So I should preface by the fact that this phone was repaired a month ago for something unrelated. My daughter threw it down and the screen broke accidentally. So yeah. So the last app that is showing that the last note I made was like a month ago, and I'm like, this can't be right. So I try to log out of the app again and try to come in. I'm like, the phone is just hanging. I don't know what's happening. I've been writing all these ideas, so the phone is just definitely like acting up or something. But yeah, no sooner had I thought that I just, that pit just starts to sink in your stomach, and you're like, oh my god, like, you're like kind of just debating, like, oh my god, is this happening or not? It turns out that actually my notes from the last like 3 weeks, or just let's say essentially since I got my phone, my notes have disappeared, like all of them. And whatever tinkering I was doing with the cloud storage has deleted everything. So my mind just goes blank. I was in so much disbelief, the bad kind of disbelief, and a little shocked. I tried logging in and out of these different accounts I was trying to log in earlier, and nothing is restoring my notes. So at that point, I'm like, probably nothing my husband can't figure out, right? Actually, you are wrong. I was wrong. He attempted to recover them, but he was not successful. So while that he's trying to I don't know, just see what is happening, I'm frantically like Googling and scoring Reddit pages and whatnot. No suggestions seem to be working. We do this for a few minutes, like maybe 5 minutes, and my husband just turns to me and he's like, I think you might need to come up with new ideas if it's things you have stored here. Oh, my heart sank so bad. Like, I just lost it internally. I'm kind of livid. I take my phone from him and I just walk to a different room, and I'm just holding my phone, and I just decide, oh my god, I don't know what to do. This can't be happening. Like, I decide that this is just too shocking, and it's too much of a reality to handle. So that day, instead of staying up to work on a video, I'm just down from that high I've been feeling of thinking that I have this figured out. So I just decide I want to go and sleep. Like, I don't even want to think of anything. So I go to sleep. And interestingly, I'm actually not mad at myself, the slightest bit. I'm just trying, actually in those moments, I'm even trying to cry. As I went to the other room, I tried to cry to let out this frustration, but no tears are coming out. Like, I can't, the one time I need my tear ducts, they're just letting me down massively. And I know I'm back at square zero. I get just flashbacks of all the creative ideas and how they have just been flooding me. And now, all of them are gone. So I stop thinking, I go to sleep, and I think to myself, maybe by some miracle, the phone will resurface those notes as I sleep. like by morning I'll wake up and this will just be a bad mishap, And the night is actually surprisingly peaceful, and I don't even really wake up and lose sleep at any point. I sleep like the whole night. And actually have a really bizarre dream where I'm back in school. So one of the things about me is that I've been a class prefect. And some countries you say class monitor. I've been that like virtually all my school life. Like in years when I refused to be, you always have like a boy and a girl. In years when I refused to be, we literally did not have a female like class leader, so to speak. So yeah, that's the setting we're taken back to. I'm in school, I'm a class prefect, and I'm asked by someone from the authority. The authorities ask me to counter check the names of fellow students who are queuing behind me. But the list I'm handed, when I look at it, it doesn't seem to even have any name of anyone who's queuing behind me. So I get frustrated. I don't even carry out this task. And eventually when the lady who has asked me to do this task comes to take her list back, I tell her that the task was kind of absurd. Like, this was impossible for me to do. And she just goes, "Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention, now that you say that, we have the list of the names of all students in our system. And so, we actually know. So we don't even need to ask you to do this task." And she goes off and she's like, "It's fine. The system knows. You don't need to worry about this task. The system knows everyone is in the list." And that was just kind of like a very weird dream. Like if you just try to connect what's happening and what this dream is trying to tell me. I don't really read much into dreams, but that was one that kind of, I don't know, it just popped up. Anyway, the next day is a Saturday. I wake up, I'm feeling very refreshed, but I'm filled with so much rage, like pure rage. At waking up to this reality, I'm still a bit distraught over this list of ideas I have lost. It feels like, you get a clear glimpse of what you want to do, and then the rug is just pulled from under your feet. One of the things I do when I wake up, I record this weird dream. That's how I'm even able to remember it now as I'm recording. And interestingly, my husband even asked me like, "Oh, so what did you dream about?" And I'm like, I'm just too annoyed to even answer that question. I'm feeling like I just want to scream. Or also I want to throw my phone on the wall so that it just crashes and breaks into pieces. I really, really, really want to smash and break some things. The rage is feeling just so all-consuming. And, my husband doesn't even know how to help, so he's keeping my daughter occupied. Thankfully, it's like a weekend, so he's around. And this rage is even suggesting to me that, he's not even understanding you. Your husband doesn't understand you, you see. He's just moving on like life is okay. Like, see all you've lost and he's not even caring. That's why I catch actually the first strike. I catch myself and I'm like, wait, no. He's so many things, but not understanding me is not one of the things he's doing. So I just catch myself there for a little bit. We go have breakfast. And after breakfast, I immediately am done. I just walk back into the room. I'm just prepared to just overthink myself to sadness. Since actually my tear ducts are just betraying me massively. So, I want to wallow. I want to really, really wallow, like major wallowing. I want to watch YouTube videos of people who like just lost, ideas or things and just how bad that was. But then I get into bed and the first thing I ask myself is, why can't I actually cry? Is this not an actual loss? Is my higher self not registering this as a loss? And I say that, the new me of the last 3 weeks has had leaps in mindset shifts. And I wonder what the new me now thinks of this whole ordeal. So I ask myself, what would the old me do? Even if I don't know what the new me would do, let me start with the one I know so well. So what is the old me? What would the old me do? And it's clear to me that, the old me will just sit in bed, wallow all day, think everything is lost, think this is a bad sign, it's a sign from wherever it is coming from that you should not do this. Basically call it a bad day, a bad weekend, a bad omen, don't even dare to start this new venture. Like, it's just not for you. It's just too much. But then I say, so what is the new me saying? And one of the things that's coming to me is that I have rage. For one, I feel present. I'm like, I have so much rage. It's just, I feel it. And I ask myself, are you scared of the rage? Or are you feeling overpowered or overwhelmed? And I end up admitting to myself that I feel a strong energy. It's just strong. I can't continue it. That's why I really want to let it out and channel it into something. And I am actually willing to do this. So otherwise, I just don't know what to do with the energy, but I want to channel it into something. And surprisingly, a simple answer just comes to me. It's like, go make the next video. So for the next 2 to 3 hours, I just pour myself into designing the next video episode completely and fully, and I just, feel like the rage dissipating, like, ice under the sun, when there's a lot of sun and just put a block of ice. Yeah, it just starts like mellowing, like thawing out. So when I'm done setting up the scenes and everything, I'm done working on that video for that 2 to 3 hours. I come out of it, like just being immersed in that creative state, and I realize, wait, why is there so much peace? Like, it's calm, it's like a storm has passed. All rage is completely gone, and I'm back to myself again. And I'm also very mind blown that I have handled rage. Like, I have channeled rage for the first time in a very intentional, empowering, and present way. I had total control. And it did not get to rule my entire day, my entire weekend. It didn't draw me into a bad state. So after this whole debacle, it's just starting to unravel in my mind for me at that moment, that being in a position where, I am seeing a path that I want to pursue wholeheartedly is actually more important to me than the ideas I have about what I want to do on this path. I feel like God is asking me, do you trust me and where I'm leading you? Or do you think in your mind that you are the one who has it all figured out? Do you trust your mind, and what it can produce more than the path that you are on? Because ideas can be erased or lost. Ideas are infinite. But the path that you see is one, and it can never be erased. So what does it matter if you lost 100+ ideas? Are you going to abandon the path because of that? And yeah, in those moments, I'm just getting some sort of clarity about really what I want to do. And it's like you're being pulled up to stand from a storm. If it had like swept you, if the flood had swept you. And I actually also get reminded of 2 weeks ago, I'd gone to church, and the visiting preacher had read us a quote, or was it a verse? I'm not too sure, but it said something like, all rivers run into the ocean, and yet the ocean never gets full. The ears hear so much, that's all they do, and yet they are not full of hearing. And the eyes see so much, yet they are not full of vision. And in this moment, I just completely calmed down and just affirmed my trust in the path that God has led me to. It's been 3 years of vaguely wondering, what do I do with my voice, What do I teach people? What do I show people? What's something of value that I can bring and add to the world? And here I was trying to cry over a few ideas. I know I'm the same person who got these ideas, and I can still get more ideas. If they return to me, well and good, but it's not like more ideas will not come to me. If anything, if I keep going down with a defeated attitude, more ideas are going to ideas are not going to come to me. So I'll sort of like close and limit that gate. So, they say you don't touch the same river twice, but guess what? If the river never stops flowing, does it matter what version of it you touch? So I did not force myself to even also now sit down and just start frantically recording and remembering everything that I had lost. And up to this moment, I have not done that, and I'm not going to do it intentionally. I allow myself to just get back into that inspired and excited state for this YouTube journey. And surprisingly, some of the ideas just come back to me, have been restored. But I've since been able to still record more and more ideas of what other videos I could do. So the thing is, God will restore. They say He will restore like 7 times. I know now, actually, that in this journey, I don't have to even stress myself to have like 1,000 ideas before I start. Let me just work on the idea I have now, because ideas will always come to me. But at the same time, I also want to say that it's also been a valuable teachable moment, valuable lesson as a big picture person, that, the details are going to matter as I go into this journey. Don't take small things for granted, like, backing up things, securing your accounts. You even know what that means. Perhaps this was the pause I needed to hit and be like, oh, wait, yeah. Start to realize, these things that you need to actually have in place that I would not have done if I had not even taken a moment, suffered through that loss, like especially detailed tech things that I would have tended to overlook as a big picture person. So that is one plus that I would say, other than the spiritual angle. Practically, I've been able to actually become more cognizant of that. Because it would be, what if those things happened? What if something like this happens when you already have like a big following? It's even worse. Or how would you, go through it? So I've allowed myself to take it as just a teachable lesson as I go into this YouTube journey. So, and I don't want to just focus on doing these tech things just so that I'm preventing losses. I'm creating an archive of thoughts and ideas, and I don't want to be careless with that. I hope this has blessed you, if it was meant to find you. There's parts of it that hopefully are a confirmation even to just one person about trusting God's path and plan for your life, specifically for any ideas you feel called to, even when it seems like you don't know what is supposed to come. Just trust. Or maybe you are so sure that you wanted to do something, but immediately you get on that path, you encounter some sort of setback that makes you a little scared. Or maybe it brings to mind how you deal with anger, what it makes you do or not do. Don't let temporary setbacks stop you from taking the whole journey. It could just be the ultimate test on how determined you are about, following that thing that that desire that has been placed in your heart. And most importantly, just, listen, like surrender to, the guidance from up above. The path doesn't have to be 100% certain for your human mind. You don't have to know exactly what you're going to do. You don't have to know exactly what it entails. You can relinquish all those details and trust that even where you do not know, God has got you. So yeah, if you've come this far, thank you so much for listening to my little story. Kindly consider subscribing. I have a lot to share around understanding the voices in your head, sifting through your thoughts, the patterns that have established themselves, and just basically showing you that the mind is truly designed like that. It's a feature, not a bug. You've seen those quotes. Yeah, the voices, everything that seems confusing, it's a feature, not a bug. You know, most people who talk about, you know, the mind and like changing your mind and all these things, you know, I have a different approach. You know, it's like, you know, think this way, say this, feel this, and it's fine. That really works. But I'm here mostly to just show you what happens, and you can pick up whatever message from the skits that I'm going to be sharing. They're designed to make you just laugh, because it's like things that happen they look very like jokey, but there's a deeper layered message in all of them that I hope that, you know, you'd be able to see, just depending on what you're looking for. And depending on where you are in your journey, you can start seeing the patterns for yourself. You can connect dots to help on your own journey. So yeah, until next time, when I post the next video, it's bye-bye for me. Okay.